Hi everybody, Denny Bubrick here for Fox 23 and welcome back to our Fridays with Fox segment where we're highlighting people, places, events, and all of the things that maybe aren't always at the top of the radar but are playing significant roles in helping push Hattiesburg, the Pine Belt, and our area communities forward and being the communities that everyone enjoys taking part in and being a part in and living in. So today, if you have not taken advantage of it, one of the things we're talking about, or actually I should say the thing we're talking about, is the Hattiesburg Geotour. And you may remember Sean Harris joined us in one of our previous episodes about conservation. He is also one of the driving forces behind the Hattiesburg Geotour. So Sean, thank you for joining us again.
Hey, Jenny.
To talk a little bit about the Geotour.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
So Geotour and geocaching. Talk to me a little bit about what's going on here, because geocaching can be a one-off thing, but a tour sounds a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, it's bigger and better. Yeah, so we'll start with geocaching. So what is geocaching? A lot of people have heard of it. A lot of people have participated at some time in their life. They found a geocache. So geocaching is really a high-tech GPS treasure hunt. So it is a scavenger hunt where somebody hides a container somewhere in the world, uploads those GPS coordinates, gives it a name, a description, a hint, and then other people go out and find it. And so it's kind of the real world scavenger hunt. It's Pokemon Go, but with a physical thing, and it's been around for more than 20 years. So it's kind of the original. It's the OG treasure hunt, scavenger hunt. And you're finding a physical container out in the world somewhere. And they range from all different sizes. Today we've got an ammo can on the table here. It's got the Hattiesburg Geotour logo on it, but you know, an ammo can is kind of the epitome of a geocache container. It's waterproof, it's big, it holds a lot of swag. So when you find that, if you want something out of it, you can trade for something. So it's kind of that trade souvenir. And there's nothing better than hiking down the trail, walking around in the woods, and you're trying to find this ammo can, and you got your hiking stick and you hit that metal and you hear that sound. So, but they can be as small as, you know, matchstick containers, lock and lock Tupperware containers. They even have one that's called a nano, and it's this tiny magnetic container. All it has in it is a log. So kind of the, there's really nothing of great value you will find in it, right? It's the journey. It's not the destination. It's about the journey. It's about what you found along the way. Someone brought you to a cool location or hid this really neat container. But usually the location or the container, something is special to somebody. So it's a great way to kind of see a place. So when you find a geocache, everyone has a log in it. So you sign the log. It's kind of your treasure map. You sign the log to prove that you were there. You hide it back like it was found. And then you go tell your story online and you log it at geocaching.com, log it in your app, and the owner gets to see that log, and then it keeps track of all your finds. So over the past 15 years that I've been geocaching, I've found about 2,000 caches. Oh, wow. I haven't logged about 300 or 400. I'm not good at logging, I'm good at finding. And it's been a really neat experience. So the Geotour takes geocaching kind of an extra level, and it's heavier for promotion, promoting your town, creating a tourism opportunity to try to get people. So anybody who has a geocaching account can hide a geocache. To do a Geotour, it's kind of a supreme curated list of caches. So when we thought about doing the Hattiesburg Geotour, it's about highlighting all the things that make Hattiesburg great. And really, if you got somebody who's coming into town, friends that come to Hattiesburg, and they're kind of like, what's Hattiesburg all about? If they would do the Hattiesburg Geotour, they would get a really great experience to see a little bit of everything that Hattiesburg is doing.
Awesome. So from your chair, and like you said, you've been doing it for 15 years. Why do you think this has snowballed into such a popular activity?
Yeah, I think it's kind of that whole exploring discovery thing. I mean, we've seen in Hattiesburg, Lucky Rabbit, that unique experience that Lucky Rabbit creates. It just creates a buzz for people to come and experience this retail shopping experience. The Pocket Museum, it changes. There's something new all the time. The idea of discovery kind of moving around that corner. Geocaching to me is kind of the same thing. It gets you out of kind of the mundane day-to-day life, gets you either on a trail or in a park or on a river, and you're doing, it's this add-on activity to what you're kind of already doing. So, you know, we've talked about Piney Woods Conservation Group and the Blue Ways. A lot of the coolest places on a hiking trail, on a river, at a creek, at a park, a lot of those places I found through geocaching. Mm-hmm. Someone hit a geocache at this great waterfall. Someone hit a geocache at this really special place in the DeSoto National Forest. So it's a great way to introduce people to your place and have them kind of fall in love with the things that you fall in love with.
Awesome. So you talked about a geotour, acquainting someone with a local area or things like that, especially here in the Hattiesburg sense. Yeah. How long has the Hattiesburg tour been in place, and have you been able to see any fruits like that yet?
Yeah, so the Hattiesburg Geotour is a program of Visit Hattiesburg. So I do a lot of projects with Visit Hattiesburg. I love Marlo and Kristen and Paige and Maddie and their team. They're heavily focused on outdoor recreation, so trying to give people those unique experiences outdoors. And the Geotour falls in that, kind of gets you outside, exploring. Now there's urban, there's suburban, so you can do a lot with the Geotour. But there's 40 geocaches all around Hattiesburg. And they're in all the great places. Like if somebody said, what's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite coffee shop? What's your favorite thing to do on a Saturday in Hattiesburg? The Geotour takes you to all those places. There's a Southern Prohibition, Lucky Rabbit, Town Square Park, Green Coffee, Keg and Barrel, Chain Park, Duncan Lake. The Blue Ways is touched on. The Hattiesburg Public Art Trail has a geocache that introduces you to the art and to murals. And then if you want to follow it, you get some more. So, you know, there's about 4 to 5 million geocachers worldwide. There are a few million people who find a geocache during the year. So it's kind of a smaller subset of people. But what we saw with the Geotour, just in the first year, 700-800 different geocaching accounts came and participated in the Geotour. Wow. They stayed on average 2 days. So that means they're sleeping in our hotels, they're eating at our restaurants, they're shopping at our retailers. So we've had hundreds of finds on each of our geocaches. And the feedback has been, man, we've done 15 or 16 of these geotours all across the country, and Hattiesburg has done a great job. Right there, we enlisted local artists to paint some of our ammo cans, so they kind of have this step up. Brad Allen and Kyle Bowman are two local craftsmen and artists. Kyle Bowman with Hub City Stained Glass. They made a beautiful kind of longleaf piney resort tiny house with stained glass windows. So we've got some really unique geocaches, but we had 700 or 800 different accounts, which is anywhere from 1 to 4 people came to Hattiesburg on average for 2 days, which means we've had up to 4,000 or so people do the Geotour from 7 countries and 23 states. Wow. Just in the first year. So it's in its second year, and I don't have the annual statistics on that yet. But it's still seeing a lot of feedback, a lot of traffic coming through town. So they're shopping at Lucky Rabbit, and they're drinking coffee at Grin, and they're having dinner at Keg and Barrel. And so it really has been this kind of economic driver for Hattiesburg, putting people in hotels. It's been really great.
Very cool. Now, a minute ago, you mentioned the swag.
Yeah.
In the box and stuff. So is there, generally speaking, is there an expectation to trade? Do people just take, or what? And is it family friendly? Is it for all ages?
Yeah. So the geocaching as a whole is super family friendly. The Geotour specifically is even more family friendly. So what has kind of happened in geocaching circles? Geocaches have gotten smaller and a little bit more discreet as the urban environment has been built up, which is cool and fun. But nothing beats an ammo can full of swag. So I think on our Geotour, there's only 2 or 3 caches that are small, that just have a log. Most of them are ammo cans, or maybe even larger, which means they're stock full of swag. They've got toys and trinkets. And of course, we have great sponsors for the Geotour. It was funded by Mississippi Power, Rainforest, Car Wash, Hancock Whitney. We're all partners. And of course, Visit Hattiesburg is the big push and the big financial push, and all the branding and the art and the marketing communication materials. But so we had a lot of local businesses donate stickers and koozies and cups and mugs. And so the ask is that you trade something of equal or greater value. Now, does everybody do that? Probably not, but at the end of the day, we want you to have something to remember the Geotour by. So, but it's nothing better for a 5 or 6 year old to walk up on one of these ammo cans and they open it up and there's a Beanie Baby inside, or a Happy Meal toy, or one of our local business stickers that they get to take with them, and then they remember that experience. So, super family friendly. The difficulty, the terrain, you're meant to find these because we want you to find that location, experience where that geocache is, and knock that off your list.
So I'm gonna try and characterize it here. So it's not going to be just out there in broad daylight, but as you and I talked about off camera, I've taken part in some geocaching over in Arkansas, and some of them we actually had to work to find. So it sounds like it probably falls somewhere in the middle. Yeah,
somewhere in between. And I've done some geotours where you're like in the woods trying to find small caches, and that's a little difficult when you're kind of traveling and touring. So we want people to find these. So they're ammo cans. Some of them are hidden in plain sight. There might be a unique container that kind of blends in with the environment. Most of them are behind a tree, behind a bush, on the other side of a wall. So it's very great. If you were starting in geocache, you're kind of like, man, this scavenger hunt, treasure hunt thing sounds cool. I want to get my family outdoors doing that. I want to explore Hattiesburg. You start with the Geotour. They're meant to be found. It's a great introduction. It introduces you to Hattiesburg, and that's where you go. And you're a Boy Scout. You're an Eagle Scout. You're still on the Boy Scouts board, as am I. So the world of Boy Scouts is all about patches, right? At every event, at every campout, camporee, jamboree, you're trading patches. Every council's got its own patch. So in geocaching circles, it's a coin. They're coins. So they're called geocoins. And usually they're trackable, which means there's a number on it that you can register online. So the Geotour geocoin is the logo. So everybody who finds 35 of the 40 Geotour caches, you get a custom Hattiesburg Geotour coin for free. So we've got these great passports. They're at T-Bone's Lucky Rabbit. You can download it online. You can find some of the printed passports. We've got plenty. But you can just download this online. Every geocache has a code word in it. So when you find your caches, you get that code word. You turn in your passport when you're done, and you get this great custom Hattiesburg Geotour geocoin. So it's a great souvenir item. And this is what's bringing thousands of people from multiple countries and states to our community. This $5 coin. It's incredible. But it's really about that experience of kind of touring a new place and learning about what is Hattiesburg about.
Awesome. Okay, so you mentioned T-Bones and Lucky Rabbit, I believe, is where the passports are printed and located.
That's right.
But if somebody wants to go online and get it, what is your website?
Yeah, it's HattiesburgGeotour.com. So just go to HattiesburgGeotour.com. You can pull down that passport. It kind of walks you through how to become a geocacher, how to register and get a membership, how to download the app, how to look on the map and figure out which caches are the Geotour caches. And then you can certainly do all the tour and have your passport and mail it in to visit Hattiesburg, and they will mail you your coin. But if you're in town while T-Bones or Lucky Rabbit are open, you can exchange your passport and you can get a coin on site and have that experience.
Well, knowing you're in year 2, my last question, and I may be a little quick asking this.
Yeah.
But what's next on the horizon for the Geotour?
So what we're seeing, I first discovered Geotours in 2014. So it's been about 10 years since those really got founded. And Houma, Louisiana is kind of the poster child in the South about the Geotour. I've been to Houma 14, 15 times in the past decade because they launched a tour, they revamped it, they launched a second, and they hosted many events in between, all while having this coin. So I hope that we've seen enough activity and traffic that we'll continue to do this. We've got a lot of other places in Hattiesburg that we can highlight, or new locations at existing spots. The Lucky Rabbit's big and unique. We could certainly hide a new geocache at Lucky Rabbit and all across downtown. So I hope that it'll kind of continue to grow. I'd love to see more people in my friend group and people I see on social media getting involved in it, because it's been a great activity for me and my family, and has introduced us to a lot of really cool places. And for people online who are complaining that Hattiesburg doesn't have anything to do, which is wild, because if you look at the calendar of October, it's just full of stuff. This is a great activity for your family, and it will introduce you to a bunch of other things that will then be new activities for your family. Awesome. So I would encourage everybody to do it.
Awesome. Well, Sean, thank you for visiting with us again, telling us a little bit about the Hattiesburg Geotour and all the comings and goings that are going on with that. And thank you to everybody who's joining us through social media. We look forward to having you back for another round of Fridays with Fox and highlighting some of the more good things that are going on in our area.